Today is August 27th, 2026. Today I took my grandson to counseling. And when I went to leave, heard some guy behind the door. I found out they made everything up on her. I figured they did. Well, I had to go take my grandson home. He actually left in a good mood. And because of that crazy call and my grandson's go there, my other grandson thought he could be rude to me. We walked in and everybody's in a good mood, and he started yelling and yelling threats and all kinds of stuff. And he brought my one grandson, Daniel, to tears. And I was like, look, knock it off. And then he thought he had threatened me. It's like, I'll put your ass in jail. You won't threaten me. And who the hell do you think you are? And sitting there on the couch, big, fat, lazy oath, screaming at his grandmother. And it's like, look, I'll put you. He said, you want me to take care of you? I said, I'll put your ass in jail. I don't know who the hell you think you are. Well, he needs to have the dishes done. I said, that's what we're doing. And it's only a 5-minute job. And you're not in charge. And you're not the parent. And you need to realize it. And I said, and I will be talking to your father about this. And I said, and you need to realize I will put your ass in jail. He said, do you want me to take care of you? I said, the day you think you can take care of me is the day your ass will be in jail. He got mad and stomped off to his room. He needs to embrace it. See, but in that fucked up religion, they think they can bully, threaten anybody, and they teach them that. Well, reality of it is, I said, you try this at work, and you actually get a job, and you threaten somebody at work, the police will be called, and you'll be hauled off to jail. You need to learn to watch your mouth, and you can't threaten anybody. Well, we left, and we went up to Walmart on the Strip. And sure enough, there was riffraff in there. You know, for you to actually have charges, these people are so incompetent and so ignorant. They don't know what it takes to have charges. You actually, if they have enough evidence, the police will want to question you. Do you have to talk to them? No. You have a right to remain quiet. Then if they have enough evidence, they'll take it to the prosecutor's office. They'll subpoena you to be there. You have a right to an attorney. Get on 411 will be appointed to you. Okay? And then they'll put like preliminary charges on you until you go in front of a judge and you have a jury trial where the charges stick. Okay? You have to have a trial. Can they just place charges on you and nobody talk to you? No, it's a flat out lie. Another made up shit. Everything these people do is made up. Okay? And see, that's where the first month of the case, I woke up with a lemon-sized bruise on my leg. I was throwing up that morning, finally got myself together. Went down to Walmart 62. And in front of the cops and feds, this little white man walked up. For every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn it on you. Try to leave, Dave, I'll list you a child molester. I'm like, who are you? He's like, you know that bruise on your leg? It was way up on my thigh. He stuck me in my sleep. You know what you said? You were wearing this one nightgown. You bent over and probably once accidentally seen your butt and you had a life of pain because of it. You tried to leave Dave. I'll list you a child molester for that. Got away from that freak. Admitted he worked for Dave, drugging me up and telling me to say lies. Went home to a legally bugged house, had Dave debunk it. I was dressed modestly and they only seen the back of my knees. I didn't even own that nightgown back then. Made up the whole thing. Then other people came up where you had bruises before throwing up and infected. It was us. We were drug being raping you. We had drugged you and told you to say this. We had drugged you and told you to say that. We photoshopped all our lies. And I told you, before December 21st, 18, the drug dealers hated Dave and Melissa. Hated them. They showed up and announced before Thanksgiving of 18 that Melissa was going to help them get away with this, and they were going to have the kids lie. So they followed her around to find out what the lie was. And on Thanksgiving of 18, the kids were taped in a legally bugged house, that they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa. And then later on to Florida, they made everything up. They were games of pretend, sick shit. And I didn't even know about it for a year. They would only tell me that they would make up something, call me a bad word. Because they, like they said, Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. They're documenting me games of pretend. Okay? Well, that's where August 23rd, 26, Walmart 62. A lady that's part of this by the front register, and I'm standing by the restroom waiting for a car to come out. She said, I know the original drug dealers confessed that they drugged her up and told her to say it before in 18. And they were using Z drugs on her. And I did look it up. It does cause sleepwalking and amnesia, but I don't think they did it. But they did confess they did it well before 12/21/18. In the evening, we were out, and I could feel those people around me. They walked up behind me and beside me, and they were so mad at Dave. That fucking bastard, that arrogant asshole. Who does he think he is talking to us like that? Dave wants us to take her out and kill her. And we weren't hired for that. Would he like us to do this to him? Well, we get paid to do it to her. I know, but still, who does he think he is talking to us like that? Why waste a good woman when we can sell her? Make money off of it. You know, Dave and Melissa had this plan for months before they did it to make sure they got everything during the divorce. Dave and Melissa decided together that she would make the more appropriate parent than John. In this way, they had it set up, they get everything in the divorce, and when she went for full custody, she wouldn't be able to help John. They use Z drugs on her that erase your memory as it's happening. It causes sleepwalking amnesia. When they drugged her and told her to say it before, and Dave was involved in the house, and it was set up so they both get everything in the divorce, and she couldn't help John when she went for full custody. That's what that lady was talking about. They read them out before, and where they said we ought to take her out and ship her so somebody can't take off with her with everything that's going on. So it's before 12/21/18. Right in front of the police and the FBI. They even said what kind of drugs were last year, August 4th, August 5th, August 7th, 25 of the hypnotic drugs. They are Z drugs. They're the same thing. That cause sleepwalking amnesia. The metal taste in your mouth when it wears off. August 31st, 25, and December 1st, 25 of the hypnotic drugs and told us that. Just like they bragged in 18. Okay. Well, today in Walmart on the Strip, some people were laughing. People have been showing up making fun of her because Will and Michelle stole all the money from the case. See, that's where the cartel is laughing. Because if I don't get paid, I don't sign a willing statement that I was willing to stay up and live through all that, stay up there and live through everything. It's going to get thrown out for him defrauding me. And they're dying laughing because they're planning on suing for tens of millions of dollars each for false arrest on a fraud. They've already announced it several times. And that's why they're laughing. June 3rd, 26 in the Bell store in the morning, I was in the bathroom. And they said the Kingsmen are dying laughing. That the FBI would rather let their drug dealers out and let them sue for tens of millions of dollars each for them defrauding her before they'll pay her what little money they owe her. And they're all going to be millionaires. Well, the amount of people that got arrested off my case is, well, a good 1,000, 2,500 or more. So it's going to cost the government $10 to $25 billion. And my friend that used to work at the prosecutor's office said they can get out. They have to pay you, Karen, or they had no legal right around you. They had no right legally monitoring you to get those people. And they have to stand up for that case. Well, I did research on it. It could get thrown out for me being abused. So they're going to need a willing statement that I was willing to stay up there while they surveillance me, knowing I was risking my life, possible injury, possible death, but still willing to stay up there while they surveillance me to get these people threatening my life and others. And knowing my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, that other agent was only bullying me and didn't have the authority to ask me to stay quiet, and the FBI alone would be paying me and compensating me for injuries. It takes me from a victim to a willing worker, and then their case is sealed. Otherwise, like he said, they can get out. I Googled it. They can. Now, is that my fault? No, I offered it. People couldn't even have walked up and said, I can't even believe she's offering to help them after everything she lived through. September 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning, where Agent John's girlfriend likes to cackle. I guess she was cackling in front of a bunch of drug dealers how they fooled everybody, and their response was handing her over to the cops on a platter. They know my car is bugged by the FBI, and they brought her down at 1 o'clock in the morning outside my work. I carried motorcycles, and said the guys running it said no one's to ever say a word to her again in her life. They found out this whole thing was your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes. Does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know who I am. She doesn't even know who you are. You had her raped and tortured, her skull bashed in because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. I listened to her and her friend Matt talk January 13th, 23, that the Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life because they thought he let all those people be human trafficked, and it was your family letting them be human trafficked, and your family even human trafficked people to pay off those debts to drug dealers. She said, yes, I'm sorry. She sold children, and she's sorry. She's a child molester. She sold children. He said, I found out it's your family inciting her new husband's family to threaten his life, to steal his farm from him. Well, yeah, I really like it. I want it. She thinks because she dates an agent, she can terrorize anybody and steal from anybody. He said, I listened to, I think it was like August 22nd, 23. It's before September of 23. The original cartel had already confessed they photoshopped everything. Did you know that? Yes. Did you know they confronted her ex-husband if he knew everything was wrote up as fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors that made her sick before, and they encouraged them to sue those doctors for years? Yeah, I knew that. Oh, people were talking from Maslin to New Philly about her confessing they human traffic people to pay off those debt to drug dealers. June 26, 26, in front of the Stark County Sheriff's. We're down at Dutch Valley Restaurant in Sugar Creek. We're in a booth with a half wall. She couldn't see me and Carl. She comes in cackling. It's my family stealing everything for me. He has to pay to do that. That's pathetic. He said, the drug dealers that we hired to do this to her, taped her in the shower washing herself and photoshopped that in the other room to make fun of her. They made her look weird with herself. Ha, 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 ha. He has to pay to date that. The drug dealers we hired picked her out personally to do it to her, to steal everything for me. It's my family doing all this to steal everything for me because she's a faker. Did she already admit that she knew everything was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors? Yeah. It actually almost killed me, that strange as lie. But she was cackling in front of the Stark County Sheriff's. July 5th, 26. I took my client to church. I walk in and that prostitute has made fools out of everyone. I walk in and I go to sit down while he's working. And some girls went, the mind reader said she's weird inside. I thought, you're weird inside. Ignore. I go sit down. And a guy comes out of nowhere. They won't say a word to her. She had enough courage to walk in here, and she's working. A couple minutes later, those girls walk by. So that guy said some prostitute in a restaurant was laughing. She stole all the case's money and made fun of everybody for falling for this. Stark County Sheriff's in uniform. That girl that was laughing in a restaurant, she stole all the case's money, is that agent's girlfriend has to pay to date while she's a prostitute. And we thought he was only acting that way till he showed up at that other courthouse trying to get the case thrown out. And now we realize he's with a cartel. Well, that's almost been a year ago. Why haven't you arrested him? Why haven't you arrested him? Agents are, a local police officer can arrest an agent. They're only police officers. All of them are police officers. That's all they are. It's where you can work. Local work in the local area. Sheriffs work in the county. State works state highways. And then we got federal agents that can work anywhere in the United States, and that's FBI, Secret Service, and U.S. Marshals. Now, I want you to think he's only a police officer. So why haven't you arrested him? Sheriff David Mike DeWine's cousin wanted to know why our police didn't arrest him the first day for telling on me. See, it's documented and verified I was framed before, and it was a drug cartel in my home before August 22nd, 23rd, Officer Mark. It's documented and verified the agent that returned my phone call from the FBI hotline was the one at that church telling on me before he talked to me. That was November 22 on a Sunday. It's documented and verified that Melissa and her kids are documented being games to pretend. It's documented and verified another woman was using my insurance before. And they found out of Dave it was another girlfriend. Him and her defrauded me. It wasn't random identity theft. It was him defrauding me with another woman. It's also documented and verified it was fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors that made me sick before. And the only thing that was wrong with me was my muscles locked up. It's documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs on me when they drugged me and told me to say it before. That was August 31st, 25 in Summit Mall. It's documented and verified it was a shower scene in the other room, photoshopped by drug dealers. Every time an investigator or a police officer walks up and says it's documented and verified, I have at least one Stark County sheriff assigned to me every day. They have to document and verify everything for the FBI case. Okay? The drug dealer that I think that they were in debt to is a guy that's been saying he was running it since 18, showed up in front of the cops and feds that he was in charge. Well, he showed up August 14th, 26 in Bob Evans in Alliance. He's got light to medium brown hair, beard. He had big muscles before. Now he looks like he's on steroids. He looks like a lumberjack. Sitting there with a short white guy, bald, with black strands across his head, glasses, and a suit on him that's too big because he's a short little runt, and he's probably the one paying for it. And that drug dealer's in there being real loud. I walk in. I've been the one running it since the beginning. I'm the one that's having everybody do everything to her. Agent John only opened the case to steal all the case's money for herself. Said he didn't care what I did to her and turned her over to me. It's been me doing it the whole time. I got cameras. My phone's bugged. They got his confession. And the short little runt guy said, those families that lost people to those drug dealers that helped out were selling and killing people here. I'd hate for her to tell them who hired them and them retaliate against the people that hired them. And something happened to them for them selling and killing their families. Oh, I'll have her arrested. You won't have me arrested, bitch. I'll make sure you get arrested. Don't threaten me. Carl was in the bathroom. I kept going over and looking to see if he'd come out. Because I'm thinking, dear God, we got serial killers sitting in this restaurant. Carl, get out of that damn bathroom. He comes over, and when we're sitting in the middle of a sea of people, I went off of how stupid these are, where that guy's like, I told you I work with that attorney's office. They let break in people's homes and watch them and do things to them. No, they don't. And the guy's not an attorney. That May 9th, 26, they announced that he is no attorney. He has fake credentials, and he's just one of Dave's girlfriend's dads, impersonating an attorney. Just like that Pete guy is supposed to be that Henry Moffey that admitted he never met me in person. And he is supposed to be the fake dirty doctor from before. And he's Agent John's girlfriend's dad, the one that in front of the sheriffs admitted that he was trying to pull a fast one on the FBI and steal all the case's money for himself. None of this is funny. His girlfriend, that Michelle, that Will guy, that Pete guy, they're all drug dealers and human traffickers that have sold and killed people here. They're child molesters. They sell children. They sold kiddie porn of my grandkids going potty. They admitted they did on porn sites. They sold my whole family on porn sites. They should never get a dime, and people shouldn't be victimized for them to steal from the government. And nor would the FBI, unless Agent John is deep undercover, ever allow him to date such a person. I'm going to upload this.